Can see now?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll start with that area on performance management. So that will be the focus for today, right? So we'll do a few questions on transfer pricing and ROI, RI, and all of that. Salma, I know that I think you're the one who sent me 2 questions. I couldn't get back. I was quite held up with all the work. Just give me some time this weekend. I'll somehow figure it out and send it to you. Okay? I haven't looked at the question also. I know that you sent me, and there was another student also who sent me a few questions. I'll get back to you. All right? Bit slow. Will you be using the past papers from practice platform as well? We can do. I was planning to anyways discuss the entire mock exam using that practice platform. So then that will help you come up to speed. Okay. So the order is performance management, then variances and budgeting and control, then decision making techniques, and then finally we'll have costing, right? Costing techniques. We'll have costing techniques. Okay. So I hope that you have done some revision in terms of performance management. We are okay with it or not happy? Yeah, okay. Ashwa, Gayatri, and Salma, are we okay with performance management? So this is my plan. I don't know what you want me to do, but this is what I was thinking that we should do. Ideally, okay. So we'll go into the transfer pricing part in performance measurement. Now see, on Independence Day we're going to have the class. So what I was thinking was, shall we meet on 2 weekday evenings, 1.5 hours each? Is that okay with you all? Is anyone working? Gayatri, are you working? You're working, no? Gayatri?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what time do you finish?
I work UK hours, sir.
You work UK hours, okay. Then we'll have to, because Poe Day I'm not available. I've already booked in something. And the Independence Day I couldn't come, I was a bit sick. Still sick. Right? So I thought we can do that, but if we can't, we'll see, we'll figure out something. Maybe a Saturday or Sunday or something. Okay? Right, so look at this question from performance measurement and control. There is a question called I think it's called ROTEC. Check if you have this question called ROTEC.
Question
332. Yeah. So this is an interesting question, which even Kaplan says that you need to watch the answer debrief, which then means that it's a bit of a challenging question. Go through the answer debrief. I have not done that, but you can maybe take your time and go through. Okay. So just go to the requirement of the question to understand what the question is asking us. This is a mix of 2 parts. Part A is on performance measures, which is ROCE, asset turnover, and operating profit margin. They are clearly saying that there are 4.5 marks available for calculations and 5.5 marks available for discussion. So don't only calculate the ratios and stay quiet. You'll have to do some explanation.
So what was the question number again, please?
Question 332. Question number 332. Right, so we're doing question number 332, which is called ROTEC. So then parts B, if you go to the next page, they are saying advise using suitable calculations the total transfer price for prices at which the component should be supplied to gearbox division from C company. So obviously there's a bit of transfer pricing as well. So it's a good question to start off with because it will cover both aspects of performance measurement that we're looking at. Obviously not balance scorecard, but apart from that, everything else. So it says the Rotec group of companies comprises of two companies, W company and C company. So what you need to understand is there is this group called Rotec. Right? It's important you draw these structures, at least in a rough paper or something. And then this is broken down into two parts, which is W company and which is C company. Okay, C company. So W company is a trading division with two divisions. The design division, which designs wind turbines and supplies and the designs to customers under licenses, and the gearbox division, which manufactures gearboxes for the car industry. So this is broken down into two parts. You have design and you have gearbox. Okay. The financial results, so C company manufactures components for gearboxes. So what do? They are basically manufacturing components for gearbox, which indicates that they might be able to do an internal transfer from C company to W company's gearbox division, gearbox division, right? It sells the components globally and also supplies W component with components of gearbox manufacturing, which is what we discussed as well, right? So we are on the right track. Sit down. The financial results for the two companies for the year ended 31st May 2014 are given as follows. Okay. Required, discuss the performance, or we'll go through the details given. External sales, that is sales to gearbox division, cost of sales, administration cost, distribution cost, operating profit, capital employed, and includes cost of components purchased from C company. Cost of components purchased from C company. That is at 16,200 with an asterisk. Required, discuss the performance of C company in each division of W company. Calculating and using the following three performance measures. One is your return on capital employed. Number two is your asset turnover. Number three is your operating profit margin. Okay. Let's quickly work out these three. So you can do your quick computations. What I would suggest is just quickly create a small table. Right. So you can have W company. Under W company you have your design division, then you have your gearbox division, and then on the other hand you have C company, right? So you have this as your table. Okay. Then on this side you can start putting your ratios out. They're asking you the ROCE, they're asking you asset turnover, right? And then they're asking you finally operating profit margin. Okay. Right. So question is this type of questions answered in spreadsheet or Excel? Definitely you can use, in this case you can use an Excel sheet, right? Excel sheet. And then you can just write down your comment below that, right? Below that. Okay. So ROCE, what is your formula? What you can do is rather than writing it multiple times, just write it here under ROCE. You have operating profit divided by capital employed into 100. So this is your formula. Then asset turnover. Asset turnover would be sales over capital employed into 100. And finally, you have operating profit margin, which is obviously operating profit over sales into 1. So we shouldn't spend too much time calculating, right? So once you write the formula once, examiner knows that you know what the formula is. It's important that you define the formula. Now, if I was you, I would always do that for one very simple reason. In case I pick a wrong number from the out of excitement in the exam, instead of picking up, let's say for example, operating profit 6,000, you accidentally took some other number, or you accidentally put an additional 0. Then your answer is wrong, but at least the examiner knows you know the methodology, so he can give you something there, right? So that's why I put out the formulas, and I think it's important you do the same. Okay. Ashwa, Gayatri, Salma, you okay? Okay, good. Salma, can you just drop me a reminder tonight to answer your questions? If I don't answer, call me tomorrow, okay? You shouldn't let me sleep in peace till I have answered your questions. You all are letting me sleep in peace also. That doesn't mean you call me at 12 o'clock in the night and ask me to answer questions. I won't do that. Okay. So, design, gearbox. Asset turnover in times, correct. In times. I think I put accidentally multiplied by. Finished.
Last question.
Ashfa, Gayatri, are you all done? Okay, can you give me the answers? Okay, answers please. So 25.49, okay. This is 11.99 and this is 8.45. Thank you.
Okay to take it as round figures, right?
You took 25, 11 and
No, I took 26, 12 and 9.
2 decimals. Why do you want round off? Any reason you wanted to round off? I really don't. On your Excel, what will happen is when you put the formula, it will round off and show it 12%. Then you can give it like that. Because then the examiner can always open the decimals and see if he wants. But best is to even show the decimals to end the exam. Okay. So this is 0.6, exactly 0.6. Just check because you're giving everything else to 2 decimal places. 79 and 0.19. Is this exactly 0.6? I don't think. Put that. That's fine. Nobody else is on. Okay. That's good for us, right? Oh. 6 1. Azra, I don't recall you from my lectures. Are you only here for the revision? Okay. Azra, I hope you can hear me. So 41.96. Then you have 15.18%. And then you have 45.05%. Okay. Azra, I hope you have the Kaplan revision kit. We are doing question number 332 called Rotec. Okay. Right, see, they're only giving you 4.5 marks to do all of this. Right, 4.5 marks to do all of this. So it's not something that you should be very proud of to say, okay, I finished it. You even have the Kaplan revision kit. Okay. So I was trying to load it up. It's taking some time. Do you have WhatsApp with you? Okay, can you drop me a message on my WhatsApp number? And I will send it to you. Okay, you have my number, right? So you can just drop a message. Thanks. Okay. So till you get that, we can. Right. So how do we comment on this? They're asking us to comment. How do we comment on this? So if you look at W company, their ROCE for both divisions are significantly higher than C company's ROCE. Their asset turnover is significantly higher than C company's asset turnover. The operating profit margin for design is significantly greater than gearbox, and C company's operating profit margin is also significantly greater than gearbox. So if you look at it in terms of overall thing, design I think is the best, then gearbox, and then C company. But I don't think the examiner is asking you to just make a comment like that. You need to explain to the examiner why you think ROCE is low in C company and high in design. Why you think asset turnover is maybe low in C company and highest in gearbox, and why you think operating profit margin is highest in C company and lowest in gearbox. If you can do that, it would be okay. Okay, so shall you write a comment now? So I'll show you how you can write this comment, and then obviously going forward you can then look at it on writing by yourself. Okay. Azra, I didn't get a message from you yet. I hope you will be sending me a message on WhatsApp. Okay. So we start off with ROCE. You can say there, or we'll give an overall view first. You can say the ROCE is a measure of how much return the company is generating through the investment, or through its investment or capital employed, Azra, this is the number. Okay. Then you can say there, in this case, the design division makes the highest ROCE, at 25%, or a little over 25%, at 25.5%. 25.5%, which is 2 times greater than gearbox. And almost 3 times greater than C company. Full stop, and you can say this could be due to the design division having most of its assets in the form of people. See, when you do design, it's creativity that is your biggest asset, right? So that's your people. So you will not be able to put that into your balance sheet or factor that as capital employed. So your biggest asset is people, which is not being factored in a balance sheet. That could be the reason as to why you have a higher ROCE, right? So what I'm trying to say there is, what was I saying last sentence? Can you repeat?
Having most of its assets in form of people.
In the form of people, which will not be captured, under ROCE. Under ROCE. Okay. Full stop, and you can say C company will most likely have heavy machinery. Heavy machinery which is resulting in lower ROCE. So we look at it, asset base itself is the problem here. Right, you are doing a comparison, but the asset base is significantly different. Okay. Then we move to asset turnover, we can say. The asset turnover is highest for gearbox division. And the design division is also having a similar rate. The design division is also having a similar rate. Which indicates they are using their assets well to generate sales. Okay. So it's the same concept here. Then you can say thereafter, in terms of C company, their turnover is significantly lower. Since they are making components, they are only making components. For a future finished product. Giving them probably a lower unit selling price. Okay, so that's the reason I'm telling you as to why the sales has reduced, or sales asset turnover is reducing. Okay, let's read through this and see if it's okay. Then we will write down for operating profit margin as well. Then you can say under operating profit margin, you can say operating profit margin is the highest in C company. Indicating they have a higher profitability per unit, which is very similar to the design division. Okay, similar to the design division. Then you can say there in considering all of this, right? So in consideration of the above, next line, in consideration of the above, the design division seems to have done the best. The higher ROCE, a high asset turnover, and a high operating profit margin. There is another way you can explain this as well, which is using your DuPont ratio. When you say DuPont, I told you ROCE is equals to operating margin into asset turnover. Can you remember? Right. So you can see here for the design division, operating profit margin is high, asset turnover is high. If you take gearbox, operating profit margin is low, asset turnover is high. If you take C company, operating profit margin is high, asset turnover is low. So design division is the best. They have two high points as opposed to gearbox and C company. That's how I came to that conclusion. Okay, so you can just quickly take this down. Then we move to the next part. Okay, so see if you can do part B now, which is the most important part of the question. It's a bit of a challenge, but obviously I know you like to take challenges up. So we'll discuss and then maybe you can try it by yourself. Okay. Azra, just you can obviously direct message me just like you've done before, but is this first time you're doing PM, and where did you go for lectures? Just for curiosity. Azra, first time you're doing PM? So C company is currently working to full capacity. Now what does working to full capacity mean? When you're working to full capacity, then you have to understand that there is going to be some kind of an opportunity cost when you look at your transfer pricing, right? So there is going to be some opportunity cost when you look at transfer pricing. So these are things that has to click your mind as you read the question, right? The moment they say full capacity, you have to understand there is some opportunity cost. I don't know what it is. The Rotec Group's policy is that group companies and divisions must always make internal sales first before selling outside the group. Similarly, purchases must be made from within the group wherever possible. However, the group divisions and companies are allowed to negotiate their own transfer prices without interference from head office. Good. C company always charged the same price to the gearbox division as it does to external customers. However, after being offered a 5% lower price for similar components from an external supplier, the manager of the gearbox division feels strongly that the transfer price is too high and should be reduced. C company currently satisfies 60% of the external demand for its components. Its variable cost represents 40% of revenue. Advise using suitable calculations the total transfer price or prices at which the components should be supplied to the gearbox division from C company. Okay, see if you can quickly work it out. I'll give you 5 minutes. I want you to think very carefully and then see how you're going to tackle it. And then we'll discuss. Let's think carefully. I'll give you 5 minutes. Let's quickly see if we can do it. Finished. Anyone got the answer? Ashfa, Azra, Gayatri. Azra, are you in my FM class? I remember there was someone named Azra in my FM class. I don't know if you're the same person. Okay. Gayatri and Salma, are all done? Understood what needs to be done at least? Fahad, how is it going? Difficult?
Using the information, I have took the necessary data.
You have got the data.
Yeah.
Okay.
Further,
Further,
how to process?
how to process is the problem. Okay. Salma says it's confusing. Ashwa, Gayatri, and Azra, what are your thoughts?
Like if they have given any kind of units,
It's easy when they give you number of units, no? Yes, understand. That's why I picked this question because I wanted to take you all through it. Ashfa, Azra, and Gayatri, if you all can just give me a heads up. If I know where you all stand, then it's easier for me to put it out. Huh?
A bit,
Sorry, I didn't get you. Come again.
I'm a bit confused as well. I've worked out the numbers somewhat, but I'm not sure.
So I think you and Fahad have done the same. So Fahad is here with us physically. So he has worked out the numbers, but I think he's not coming to a conclusion. That's where you're stuck at now?
without the units.
Without the units, it's
Yes.
difficult. Okay, good. It's good that you all have tried something. Okay, I don't know what you all have done, but see, the question says if you read the last few sentences, that's the starting point, I would say. They say that C company currently satisfies 60% of the external demand for its components. Okay, so which means if you look at the table given above, your external sales, right? External sales is how much? 8,010,000. Now this 8,010,000 represents only 60% of the total external market. So if I divide this by 60%, I get the total external sales market. External sales market total. So 8 million divided by 60% should give you a total of
13,350,000.
how much?
13,350,000.
13 million
350,000.
350,000.
Yeah.
So 13,350,000 is my total external sales market. Total external sales market. Now, if you look at this company, what is their total capacity? Total capacity. Total capacity. Total capacity.
Sure.
Yes.
If they are satisfying only 60%,
Yeah.
why have they given the value of 100% as the financial results for the year ended? So isn't it the correct one, the actual one?
So what you're trying to ask me, I didn't understand the question properly, but I think what you're asking is, the question in part B, first line says C company is working to full capacity, correct? No?
Yeah.
Okay, but later on we are saying that 8,010,000 is only 60%. How is that contradicting is what your question is, right?
No, they are saying C company satisfies only 60%.
Yeah.
So when you divided 8,000 by 60, so is 8,000 and the 100% value, or is it the 60% demand?
It is the 60% of the external demand.
Okay, sir. Got it.
Okay. So if I maybe revert this to say total external sales market. Can I say that? So
Yeah.
out in the world, outside this Rotec company, there's a different world, separate whole entire world. That entire world has a market of 13.35 million. Now, what is C company's total capacity? Now, if you read part B, first line, they say C company is working at full capacity. So their total capacity is 15,560,000. Would you agree with me? Agreed. Which means they have actually spare capacity for internal production or internal sales. The difference between these two. Correct, no? Because they have a total of 15.56 million capacity. Out of that, if they maximize the external sales, maximum that they can do is only 13.35 million. Which means there's a difference of how much? Like something like 2 million, right? 2,210,000. So they have 2,210,000 which they can sell internally. Then they are using up their maximum capacity. Now, when you have spare capacity, what is your transfer pricing? When you have spare capacity, what is your transfer pricing? Marginal cost, right? So, for 2,210,000 units, your TP will be equal to marginal cost, which is 2,210,000 into 40%. It will give you how much? 884,000. Now this is only for internal sales that you are utilizing your spare capacity for. Is everyone okay up to this point? Ashwa, Azra, Gayatri and Salma, are you okay? Any questions? Ashwa, you okay? You're very silent today. I don't know if you're in the class or not in the class. Gayatri, okay? Okay, part okay, no? Right, now, but the question also says you need to first give priority to whom? Internal sales. So how much of internal sales should you do? How much of internal sales should you do to gearbox division in terms of your internal sales, apart from this 2.2 million? So what you are doing is total internal sales is 7,550,000, correct? 7,550,000. Out of this 7,550,000, 2,210,000 is satisfied using what? Spare capacity. Correct? For this 2,210,000, you calculated a transfer price of 884. Done. There is a balance. This balance sacrificed from external market sales. When you are in a fully competitive environment, what is your transfer pricing? Equals to market price plus or minus any internal costs you can remove, for example transport, packing, so on and so forth. So what's the difference between 755 and 221? 5,340,000. So this 5,340,000, your transfer price will be equal to market price minus any adjustments that you can do, which they have not mentioned anything here. So therefore, your total, now look at the question, right? They are asking you total transfer price. Total transfer price. They are not asking per unit also. is going to be 884,000 plus 5,340,000, which will give you how much? 6,224,000. Good. This, all of this, don't forget, is from C company's perspective. This is C company's perspective. Now we'll do a perspective of gearbox also, no? What are they willing to pay, kind of a thing. So this is C company's perspective. Okay, take it down and then we move to gearbox division's perspective. Okay, everyone, you're okay? So it's a good question, right? I love this question. You know, I always tell students, if you can do this question, you have mastered transfer pricing. Unfortunately, it looks like they have not mastered transfer pricing yet. It's okay, it's okay. You're all in the learning phase, right? We still have 1 month to go. Exam is on when? Tuesday. Huh? 5th. 5th of March is Tuesday. Wednesday. Before they used to have PM on Tuesday. Wednesday. Okay. Good scene. Hmm.
With the spare capacity, they can make an external sale of 2,200,000.
Not external. With the spare capacity, now see, if they fulfill 100% of the external market, they can only make where's that? They can only make 13.35 million. This value 13.35 million is assuming that you have satisfied 100% of the external market. But your total capacity of the company is 15.56. So even if you satisfy 100%, you still have a balance of 2.2. That 2.2 you definitely have to sell internally. There's nobody else to sell it to. So you sell that internally at marginal cost. Then the total internal sale that you require to do is 7.5 million. Already you satisfy 2.2. The remaining 5 million you have to sacrifice from this 13.35. Got it?
Basically, 2.21 is out of the entire sale which we have to make internally. What is the rest of the thing we have to make?
From internal. That is you sacrifice from external sales and give it to internal. Okay, everyone? Happy? my voice sounding different? No. It's okay. How do we know? We should explain from both perspectives, because what they are saying is total price or prices. So you should give a range ideally, maximum and minimum. So as the seller's perspective, they would want a minimum of 6.2 million. As the buyer's maximum, how much are they willing to pay is the other question that you need to look at. Okay, because they're saying prices. I mean, you can stop at 6.2 and say, okay, this is the transfer price, but then that would be the minimum transfer price ideal from a seller's perspective. No? From the buyer's perspective, what is the maximum they are willing to pay is the question. Anyone having class on Saturday evening? You don't have, no? Ashfa, Azra, Gayatri or Salma, you all have class on Saturday evening? Poya is quite tough, Macha. I have already put something long time back. You have a class. Sunday evening? Sunday evening I can't. No? Sunday evening I can't. I have a class on Saturday, Sunday full day. Oh Lord. Okay, done? Right, okay. So if you look at from this person's perspective, who's the other person? Gearbox division's perspective. Gearbox division's perspective. What would they be willing to pay? As the buyer, what would they be willing to pay? They would be willing to pay. Now they have a total internal sale to make of 7.5 million, right? So 7,550,000 is the total internal sales, which means total internal buy for Gearbox is 7.55 million. Now what do you do with this 7.55 million? They are getting a 5% discount from some external favor. So which means they can get it at a 95% cost or 5% cheaper. So 7.55 into 95% is how much? 7,172,500. So in other words, the maximum Gearbox is willing to pay is 7,172,500. Minimum C company would want to charge 6,224,000. So you can set transfer price between max and min. T went off. Right?